Alright, it's your boy Chuck Moolah, and we are now tapped in with
your girl, Lady Red. Miss Smoking That Weed, Smoking That Fire.
Miss Smoking That Weed, Smoking That Fire. New Orleans rap legend. What's going on with you?
I'm good, Chuck. Just cooling, just chilling, that's all. Living.
I know it's been a long time since we've seen each other. I remember first meeting you a couple years ago at the Katrina March. We was down there in the Ninth Ward marching in. You know, we had a great connection since then, so it's definitely good to meet you again and tap in with you for this interview.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for being you, and I'm honored to be here to bless you to share my story.
Let's get it. So one of my questions is, when you made Smoking That Weed, Smoking That Fire, did you know that song would just take off like that?
No, actually I didn't. The record label I was signed to at the time, I was 14, and I was the only female, and I was the youngest artist on the label. There were other guys on the label, but I was the youngest, and I was the only female. And every day I would show up to the studio. Well, let me start off by saying this. When I got noticed for the song, I used to go around rapping at DJs.
Oh yeah?
This particular DJ, my friend, which is T. Denley, who I put in my song.
Yeah.
All right, her family used to always give DJs. And we went to school together and everything. So on weekends, we would go by her aunt's house because her aunt, rest in peace to Gloria, would give the DJs. And we would go over there and I'd get on the mic. And my friends who out the four wall, who I grew up with, we would all walk. Because I would rap at our four wall DJs and the Lafitte, the Iberville, wherever they had a DJ in that area around my hood where I grew up at. We would go walk to the DJs and I would get on the mic. So everybody had known me from rapping on the mic. So this particular DJ, they had three dudes there. And I was on the mic. So he called me coming off the mic with me and my friends. We getting ready to leave. And it was like, hey, could we talk to you? Could we holler at you? I was like, yeah, y'all can talk to me. What's up? They said, well, our name EWV. EWV is the guys that's on the single with Smoking That Weed, Smoking That Fire. So these particular guys, you know, at the
you good. Go ahead, you good.
All right, so they was like, we like that song. We with this record label called High Power. You want to come to the studio and let our people hear, because they looking for a female rapper. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come. I was like, but look, I don't got no car. Y'all gonna have to bring me. So they was like, all right, we gonna bring you. So dang, the next day, they called the dudes, because they ain't have no car either. So the dudes came pick me up from by my house. They brought me to the studio. I got in there. I sung the same song that I sung at the DJ. They came in there like 45 minutes later. They bought me a big old stack of papers. It was a contract, and they asked me to sign with them. I brought it home to my mama.
And you was 14 at the time?
I was 14.
Okay.
And my mom was like, girl, I don't know nothing about this. I was like, me neither. I said, but these men, they serious. My eyes were like, they won't sign me or whatever. So bang, we signed the stuff. We ain't know, I ain't gonna lie. My mom ain't know. None of us, we just, we excited. So we go ahead, we go with it. We hook up with them, right? I'm in the studio, they seeing me pop up like who she is. They like, this Calvin new artist, because that's the producer, name or whatever.
Right.
They was like, this the new artist. Or they was like, so what she sang, Bounce? So it was like, yeah, she sang Bounce. It was like, everybody, now mind you, everybody else in the label sang gangster rap. They was gangster rappers. So they was like, man, she coming in with that Bounce. Nobody ain't gonna buy that. Nobody ain't gonna buy that. They ain't gonna like that, man. That shit ain't gonna sell. That shit trash. Like that. So the owner of the record label, he was like, nah, La Mama hot. I'm telling you, he believed in me. And at that point, it didn't matter who didn't believe in me, because he was the guy that was footing everything. He was over the record label. So he believed in me. So every day I'm showing up to the studio. I'm going to school, going to the studio. I'm coming home 2, 3 in the morning. I'm tired. I'm starting to miss school and everything, going to the studio. So when we finally finalized it, they was bringing me home, because they used to bring me to and from the studio, drop me off home and stuff. And one night we stopped at a club. We had my manager had a 4Runner truck at this time with a lot of music in it. So he said, we gonna pass around some of these clubs before I bring you home. And we just gonna ride around and see the reaction of people coming out the clubs hearing this song. I'm thinking he crazy. I'm like, I'm tired. I won't go home.
Right,
I'm 14.
right.
I done already been in this, been rapping. I won't go home, right? He like, no, come on, lady. I'm telling you, we just gonna see. So we rode around. He said, see, just look, because we kept passing. And so I'm like, Lord. I said, okay. I said, people like it. They like it. I said, but all right. So we did it again the next day. We would go around the club, pass it, just to see people respond. Next thing you know, all I remember is they was like, we got a concert at Mr. B's, Uptown. This was a spot, Uptown. They took me there. I rapped. I wore a high power t-shirt they gave me, some shoes and some jeans I already had. I did so well, the people was throwing money at me.
Oh yeah, on the stage?
On the stage. They was throwing money at me. So I was like, oh Lord, I must be rolling. So they was like, you did so good. The next show is at Big Time Tips. We go to Big Time Tips. They throwing money at me. The same thing. They like, little mama cutting up, she cutting up. So at this point in time, I'm watching my song take off. Then it got so big to where it was on Q93. I'm hearing myself on the radio. I'm going crazy. I'm like, I'm young. I'm hearing myself on the radio.
How was that experience? Like you being 15 and you know at that time people wasn't just, everybody wasn't on the radio. So
no,
like hearing yourself on the radio, I knew that was like crazy.
I was like, oh, I'm on the radio. And then the shows just went to coming in. I'm doing so many shows back to back. At that time we had Bobby Marchand was our promoter. And anybody from that era know when you say Bobby Marchand, he was a damn good promoter. He was about this.
Oh yeah?
Oh, he was about this. He was running your coins. He was making sure you get what you was worthy. You feel what I'm saying? At that time, you was getting real money with the, versus what I feel like what they doing now.
Right.
But back then, yeah, it was much different. But
so let me ask you this. Let's go back to that a little bit. So when you say that, like, as far as the salary cap and the amount of money that artists is getting paid these days, do you think that affects the artist, the artist's growth from them not really being able to financially capitalize off of the money that the promoter's paying them here?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. If that's their main source of income,
right,
they're gonna lose.
So it kind of makes it hard for them to grow as an artist if they're not really getting paid properly.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right, because it costs to be the look. It costs to complete the look. How can I show up as a rapper but I'm not looking like a rapper?
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
it kind of hurts the whole system.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
These girls to sit in their chair to get your makeup done want $100 now.
Right.
The girls to get your hair done, they want $300-400, $200-300 now. Even to get your nails done. You see what I'm saying? So those things cost. So as an artist, if I'm paying all of these to come to your event, I have to charge you a certain amount to where I can afford to pay these people and still walk away and pay some bills and take care of me.
Right.
It gotta make sense. And people be like, why you charge what you charge? Well, first of all, everybody charges different. I cannot discuss no one else's price. I'ma say this. I've been in this game since 1996. 96. So I paid my way.
Right.
I earned my stripes. I opened up for Biggie Smalls.
Oh yeah?
Understand what I'm saying?
How was that?
Yeah, it was a dope experience. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened when we went in. We got booked. It was at on Canal Street. I think at the Singer, one of them two, one of the big arenas on Canal. But I was scared. I was nervous because I knew what type of influence he had on the rap game, and I was like, Lord, he coming here with Junior Mafia. Wow. So I'm like, oh my gosh. They was like, they got me to open up for them. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to do something different this time. I'm going to send my little sister out there, and I'm going to give her some cigars in her hand, and she going to throw them out to the crowd, and she going to ask, well, what are weed smokers at in this bitch? Oh. So this was all in a part of the setting of the show. So why when we get to the show, they put us in a dressing room, right? We get in a dressing room, it's lit up with beautiful food trays, this, liquor, you name it. I'm like, oh Lord, they cutting up for us, huh? We eating, we going in it. Within 2 to 3 minutes, somebody knocking on the door saying, Lady Red, y'all in the wrong dressing room. Y'all in Big and Small.
Oh, yeah.
So it was funny. We leave out of there. I'm like, damn, that's cold-blooded. So we get to our dressing room. It ain't as fabulous as his shit was. But you know, we still had a nice dressing room, but I
Right.
say that to say this, I was so nervous. I sent my little sister out there, she killed it. I came behind her and I killed it. And it was just like, I was blown away by it. I thought it was too much for me.
Right.
But God didn't think so at that time. So it's like, that's why I don't worry about what people say or what they think of me, because I know what I have, what type of notches I have underneath my belt.
Right. Matter of fact, let me ask you a question. So when you was actually in the moment, like you said, going to the DJs and getting signed to the record label at a young age, meeting Biggie Smalls or whatever, opening up for him, like, did you see the moment, or did the moment happen and it just went?
It was, I remember vivid pieces. I can't remember everything. Like, some people come up to me and be like, you remember? I be like, no. Because I remember, so it was so much happening.
Okay.
At that time, you got to think about the money I was making, the company I was in at that time. I was a teenager. I was 15 years old.
Right. I remember seeing pictures of you when you was like real young. I seen you used to be kind of dripped out. Like, how was that experience making that type of money and being a local, superstar at the time?
It was different, like, because some of my friends, especially in high school, would look at me different because they knew I had a hit record. Now I'm gonna share a story with you. I went to John Mack.
Oh yeah.
And some of the teachers didn't know who I was, but my peers, they know who I was. So they was like, well, we having this school dance. Who y'all want booked? They was like, well, we want book Lady Ray. They was like, who Lady Ray? They was like, well, who she is? What rapper she do? They was like, she go here. So they didn't even know I went to the school. So
Right.
so it's so crazy. My manager, he got dressed up and had me to get dressed up. He said, come on, lady, because we used to always going together, to do the business meetings too. Right? So we go in there, they're like, well, miss, they call me by my real name. You a rapper? You come to our school and you just, so it was crazy. That's
Right.
when everybody knew I went to the school and I was popular. So that was a great experience for me. Then I'm shopping. I had a bad shopping habit.
Oh, yeah?
I was so lost because I was 15, 16 years old shopping at Saks Fifth Avenue on the bus.
Oh yeah.
I was on a canal bus. But I had the Adrian Vittadini, the DKNY, the Gucci. I had those different type of labels. I had that shit. So it was like, I've been in designer. I've been there. I was doing that before I had kids in the 90s, But now I live different. You get older, you outgrow some of those things. I'm more into making sure my children are straight.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Breaking generational curses and creating generational wealth.
That's what I'm talking about.
For real. But yeah, I was the underdog. People may not know that because my that one song took off before any other thing behind smoking and weed, took off. And I was the underdog. I was always, hey man, that song ain't going nowhere. That song ain't going nowhere. And it hit charts. You know what I'm saying? I would go in Odyssey. I would go in Peaches Records to see what my name at was on the chart.
Right.
I would be number 1 on the chart. I would watch me climb from being number 10 to going to number 1 on the chart. You know what I'm saying? So I know what I did. I know what I could do. You know what I'm saying? But this time, it's independent with me. I'm everything. I'm everything now. I have full control over everything. You understand what I'm saying? And it's different, Like with the rap, it's the rap game, I always say it's a blessing and it's a curse. Because it has its highs and its lows. You got to be able to withstand a lot of things. You have to have tough skin to be in this field. You
Right.
really, really do. Because you got to be prepared for being lied on. You got to be prepared to be snaked. You got to be prepared to be used. You got to be prepared to be disrespected and have to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to be prepared for these things mentally. Because if not, you'll lose yourself, or you will get yourself caught up in a situation to where somebody could trick you out your spot and you could lose everything.
Right.
It's been times to where I've been booked for events and some people know who I am, some people may not know who I am, right? And I would get the stank looks and the disrespect, but I have to stay focused and keep in mind, these people are here by choice. I'm here because these people here, they booked me here.
Right.
I'm here to do a job. So they hired me here. So I have to stay focused and stay positive and say, hey, don't let this negativity trick me out my spot, because you gotta always remember who you are.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's a challenge too. Being a female in a rap game and just being in a rap game, period.